possibly can be. NFG podcast with Jay the Usual is Yo. This is Jay the Usual with NFG podcast here live. I gotta keep it down, unfortunately. Gonna have to keep things at a loud whisper. A lot of generating a lot of hate this birthday that is somebody's of much importance, but most people don't know. It's almost like Isaac Newton, you know? Every day people just dropping shit and just no one respecting, you know? Been out here dropping golden content for weeks, if not years now, you know? Taking a break here or two. Getting hit by a truck will do that, you know? Getting hit with that imaginary COVID. Oh. You know? Tough. Having that, imaginary asthma and ulcerative colitis and diverticulitis and arthritis, all that stuff too. Having my leg broken. Is it real? I don't know. I had to go to 3 hospitals in order to get a cast, even though I had the x-ray already. God, I hate Massachusetts. Make sure to share, like, and comment. The more we grow, the more we show, the more you view, the more we do. I used to love where I live. Now I don't. I mean, I'll say I mildly liked it. You know what I mean? I mean, I kind of didn't like growing up next to a fucking gang dealing drugs or having drugs dealt in my own house either. I didn't like that either. I didn't have a choice, but I didn't like that either. Just like a lot of people really don't like having their food spit in, having their parks poisoned, and having no protective services actually protect anybody. But Massachusetts is pretty fucking scary in that way. All 3 of those ways, actually. For the one person that's watching, I love you. Jay the Usual is always here for the viewers. But yeah, the more we grow, the more we show, the more we view, the more we do. So every time you hit that share button, something happens, you know, inside, and I start getting giggly. But we're doing all right now, you know. We have no money coming in. I have to beg in order to get my bills paid. Yeah, even though I work my ass off for everybody that asks, and I'm totally open for work and available at all times. I wonder how many other people in America are dealing with that right now in this oddly communistic sort of fucking time. It's weirdly just a mix of fascism and bullshit and, you know, pedophiles just getting away with madness. I mean, my goodness. It's bombing countries we're not at war with yet. I mean, the fuck? Is that Constitution shit again? What in the hell do we have a system of government for besides a king? Why do we have a tea party? I don't like tea. Do you? It's corny. Have you ever had a tea, right? And they're like, oh, it's flavored, it's delicious. And then you drink it, you're like, what the hell's this? Would you take the flavoring and just like, yeah, here's a little tidbit for you. Don't ever drink this shit again. And they're like, oh my goodness, they threw it in the bag. You should have thanked them. You know? All these British folk complaining. You know? Look at you now. Our orange pedophile protecting president goes over there and starts talking a bunch of free speech shit, and all of a sudden your fucking PM gets a little nervous. Oh, goodness gracious. Don't worry. The orange man killed freedom of speech here, too. It's okay. I'm not allowed to actually say these things. I'm just saying these things before I get killed. I mean, who wants to see this prize-winning smile continue to walk the earth? My God. Especially over the double chin. I mean, it's a little bit much. Sorry. It's just from me trying to make this perfect TikTok angle while I make these videos where I'm like, this isn't really a production company at all. I don't actually do anything useful. Oh, speaking of that, we actually do fly drones, do professional photography. I'm a professional podcast host. I used to do professional music, including a whole bunch of other different things that I'm not even going to get into the details of because nobody's listening except you people. How are you doing? I could have also done the, what do you call that? When they talk to them, they're selling something or they're getting rid of something. Oh, an auction. That's what it is. You know, where they're like, okay, we got to go once, we got to do twice, we got to do a little, I could have done a little bit of that, I think. But there's no money in that, right? You're at an auction. Are they paying those people? What are they paying them? Probably the chains that they see just falling on the floor after those people that have their pants lower than their ass, and they sit down and all of it just falls underneath the benches. They're just scraping it up. And they're like, "Here you go, Larry," and he's like, "Ah, this is more than I've seen in a fortnight." Speaking of Fortnite, if anybody's a fan of video games out there, we actually do play them, but I don't play Fortnite. I'm on Twitch. I do Twitch as well occasionally. It's not Tourette's. It's just because I get excited. Not that excited anymore, though. 30 some odd years old or whatnot today. There is a birthday. I think it's mine. I don't even know who I am anymore, though, so it could be somebody else's. Let's see. Said hi, hello, how are you? Grand, great, wonderful, and I don't know where everybody's from today. We do get a usual mix of Brazilians and the occasional Americans that are not in my time zone and do not agree with anything that I say. But I appreciate you. Glad that you're there. Glad you're breathing. Hope you're enjoying this wonderful occasion that used to be an actual international and national and galactic holiday. But they put a quick end to that once I did something I wasn't supposed to do on a spaceship when they were doing party favors and ended up in a backside somewhere. But we'll talk about that in another episode. Maybe. I may not even remember. They may wipe my memory again. I hope that something happens soon to change what it is that we're experiencing here, including my pants. But, you know, I'm trying not to shit them as we have this comet headed our way that supposedly has an alien invasion hidden inside of it somewhere. There's like a big dust cloud this is the fun part. It's a comet, but the comet's tail is pointed directly at the sun. Right? This big flaming gigantic head that you have floating around saying shit at you right now. Pretend it's the sun, right? And the comet's headed towards me, right? But the tail is pointed towards me too, which doesn't make much sense because the tail on a comet usually comes from the sun, like burning it, and then it's like headed towards me, so the tail will be behind it. So why would the tail be in front of it? I've yet to hear anybody explain this. I wonder if anybody else that's heard about this or will hear about this now that I'm mentioning it. I wonder what you'll find out. There is a Harvard scientist by the name of Dr. Avi Loeb that unfortunately talked a whole bunch of stupid shit about a comet called Oumuamua. Tampa, oh, Florida, oof, 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 Florida, oof. Hurricane season, and you got Trumpy Dumpy getting weird on you? Yikes. I'm just playing. Trump's been weird. But so's Biden, and I had a weird discussion earlier today with myself. I was saying to myself, how the fuck, right? Do they both do the lockdowns, but people only blame the old guy? But then I started looking at Trumpy Dumpy today, and now he's turning into the old guy. And I think the old guy is dead somewhere. I don't know where the hell he is. I know he was dying, but he was still president somehow. That shouldn't have been happening. And now you got this Kamala, whatever the fuck her lizard name is apparently trying. She was gonna pull some communist shit out in fucking fascism, right? I always forget the two. They just mix them so steadily into that chocolate mix of bullshit that they keep trying to feed us. And then all of a sudden said, "Oh, well, I'm not gonna actually go to California and do anything." And I'm like, I could really give a fuck because nobody cared anyway. That's right. Nobody was ever fucking voting for this person at any point in fucking time. It's a chameleon. It's a lizard. At some point, you got to realize that, you know. And I'm still having these conversations with myself. It's like I can't fucking wrap my mind around, you know. I think it's because I can't talk to anybody else, and I'm like, how the fuck is that still possible? It's 2025. Don't you? We have World War III coming. We got this invasion coming. You'd think that if I could say a few words to some people and actually get something back besides, well, fuck it, that, you know, maybe something would make some sense. But the cool thing is, I have been completely focused on business. We've got all this professional stuff that we do, including creating commercials for special items like this and this. And if you'd like a great deal on this, make sure to put J the Huge 2025 down in the codes below so you can get 20% off. You can fuck yourself. It's a fun show. This is what we do. You know? We actually have a great selection of not only people that are going to be investing in the various shows that we do, including Bird Brain, Space Face. We have a whole bunch of mini-series, some different subjects that people have been requesting, including my photography tutorials. We have open photography courses and open studio time at all times. Pretty much every photographic service you can think of, including free portfolio work, something to start off models, actors, actresses, I don't give a shit what the hell your gender is, so long as you're professional. You don't try to pull out anything like a random boob or something, and I'm like, oh, what the hell is that? And they're just like, I just thought I'd surprise you. I don't need that. What I do need is some dinero coming in. For those that don't know what that is, that's Portuguese for money. At least I think that it was. I was convinced it might not be true. You know, there's a bunch of things I was told in life that I thought it was true, but it really wasn't. Like, for instance, everybody has to poop, but there isn't a bathroom everywhere. Now, I wasn't told about that. That's a big discussion on leaderboards in New Bedford, Massachusetts lately. Another thing I never thought I'd discuss with actual adults. It's like we're all going to these public places. No, that's what it was. It was Westport, Massachusetts. One of my favorite places to go. Not one of my favorite places to discuss things with people because a lot of the group stuff on app media and social stuff doesn't really transcribe, let's say. Especially when you're talking about the actual adults. Hey, people have to poop here, and they're like, but we don't wanna. But we pay you with state money, so maybe you should take those taxes and either do your job or get the fuck out, right? And right around this time is usually when we start to knock to 0 views. That's what this is the moment. We're 11 minutes in, and we just got knocked down to 0 views again. Remember, these the YouTube algorithm is specifically meant to block free speech. It's meant to block things that rich people do not want you to talk about to other poor people. So that way no revolutions start because they're doing a lot of really bad things. We're knocked down to 0 again. But they will share channels that are absolute nonsense to thousands and thousands of people. And you can find this out just by typing a letter in the search bar on YouTube and just look at what comes up versus what you're actually seeing here. Because we're actually talking about comment 3IA. A lot of people have been talking about 31A, but that's not correct. Then you have this tail at the end of the comment that might be hiding an invasion, but it also may be in a planned inactivity to start up Project Bluebeam. So none of this may be accurate, and most people don't realize that I think it was roughly a decade ago, the FBI had a really big to do with solar observers. Roughly, I think it was 8 to 10 of them, closed down rapidly. Explained why. Then they said it had to do with a child porn sex ring. But from what I remember, there were few or no arrests that were made. And, you know, I found what Doge was doing very interesting, where they would go into, and they weren't around 10 years ago, obviously this is a totally separate thing, but I find it kind of mirrors what's possible. Is that, you know, you have all these people around in your computers, you can really mess with the data and start to convince people of shit that isn't true. And Project Bluebeam was something that is not only, you know, something that fits this narrative in a tertiary sense, it also, and you can look all these things up yourself, this isn't just things I'm making up, it also fits in perfectly with what everybody's been talking about recently online with 2027, World War III, the arrival of this comet. And by arrival, I do mean near Earth on the rebound, because it is going to come near Earth in November, and it will also come near most of the planets in our solar system. So much so that on at least 2, including our own, there may be asteroid showers of biblical proportions. So for the 2 of you that are viewing this, I suggest you share this to some people, because they're not everybody that you know, that you love, or that you ever talked to or met. When they do see any point of this, even if it's like the weakest point of this, and it's like, maybe it's really not that big of a deal, it will look like a biblical event. And even if it's just with telescopes that this is visible and it doesn't break apart, it will do this on at least one of the planets nearby. So this is something that you will actively be able to see on somebody's channel, maybe even our own, considering we have the telescopes to do it. So, you know, this is and of course, where we're getting knocked back down 1s, 0s, and all this stuff. Remember, these channels that have total gibberish on them, like I said, you can type in any letter, look up on your search algorithm, find a gibberish channel. They're getting more views than channels like this, where we're actually speaking about things that are literally happening. So, was asked to do some shit that's completely illegal, the whole forcing of the vaccine mandates, the lockdowns, and all that. And now we have a problem with, they're in California, they're doing, they're still there. I don't know what the fuck they're doing there still. You know, what I'd like to see is somebody's live feed from the area where they're at all times. And that should be easy enough. In fact, it could be somebody has viewed my channel. I know of a few that have enough money to actually fund somebody like me, doesn't have to be me, to go down there, set up a camera, could be your phone, like this, like what we're doing now. See, it's very easy. And you just have the live feed, and you show them, okay, so this is what they're doing. This is why they're here. Let's ask them why they're here, what they're doing, and then if it's an illegal act and they don't, or maybe they don't even know why they're there, then that's when you start to talk it out and figure out, well, maybe there's a more important place for the National Guard to be when we're in the middle of World War III. I just realized something helpful, guys. Maybe you should hit the share button now if you like people to be alive. If you like nice things, right? If let's see, if you like to breathe, I think that would be something that you might want to hit the share button for. If you like yourself, right? If you like, if there's at least one other person on Earth that you like, you could hit the share button. Because I promise you this. This is what all that was leading to. If you allow any bit of this World War III stuff to escalate beyond what it has already, how do you live the rest of your life and say anything to anybody with that swimming around in the back of your head? How do you raise somebody and try to have them look up to you as a human being? It's like Gaza, right, in Ukraine. And it's like we're watching these people get shredded to shit. We're watching these kids get starved to death. And I'm watching with you, and it's television entertainment at its finest to see all of this happening, and there's just nothing being done about it, but more money being thrown into the killing and the murdering and the watching it. So it starts to like seep into, I'm sure, somebody's mind, not mine, but I mean it has to seep into somebody's mind. Well, maybe just continuing to show utter stupid violence and the destruction of our world is what's going to get me paid. So maybe that's what I do. And I haven't fed into that yet, but pretty soon I am going to just start sharing videos of people getting ripped the hell apart every day. And then I'm going to also put a ticker underneath that's a fundraiser that says, if you don't like this, you can actually share like, $1 or hit just the share button to somebody that might have that dollar. And you can, fund a petition to get them to stop taking your tax dollars to pay for this shit. There's a bunch of different ways you can do it. You don't have to do it my way. In fact, I would love it if somebody in the comments below would mention it, but they can't because they've completely blocked my channel. We're back down to 0. Within 18 minutes, I've had my channel blocked, 3-4 times now? And I say blocked because, like I said, there are channels with complete gibberish that get hundreds, if not thousands of views. There are AI videos. There are videos of people that literally are saying absolutely nothing. There are even ones that are people that are actually literally clinically insane and are completely uninteresting. And they're getting hundreds of views just based on the fact that people want to see, like, what the fuck is this person saying? I don't even get that because the shit that I say is so bad that they're just... I mean, it's real, it's true, it's honest, and I'm suffering and I'm asking for help. All the things that you'd think. I'm educating people. I'm willing to answer questions. This is a live feed. All the reasons why you'd think this would be shared to a lot of people, it is actually, right now, being shared to 0 people. 2 people liked it, though, so I appreciate them. But they are not going to be able to watch this the whole time, and they probably each don't have 2 million people to share this sort of stuff to. So what ends up happening, usually, is I end up having to take these finished podcasts, hit the share button myself, and I usually share it to a bunch of different group pages that are already made on a bunch of different social media stuff that range from 1 to 100 million, literally. Most of which I try to focus into the local areas, but now that things are this bad, I'm going to have to start, unfortunately, dealing with a robot army of fake profiles, which is now even worse because of AI. And just the other day, Mr. Sam Altman decided to go public with the notion that they're not going to stop public use of AI anytime soon, even though they've realized that it's causing a massive detriment to the to the individual and mass public psyche in the form of taking away the idea of privacy, because people are now having relationships with the AI where they tell them all of their private stuff, and of course they using the AI to take all the private things in their life and fix them up and use that to build professional lives as well. All of that is getting ripped away from these people. And Sam Altman in public is telling them, we're not going to stop this, but we're going to tell you so that way you can't sue us. He didn't say that verbatim, but that's why he's saying it. And then it's also over the past few weeks that they've been taking some of the filters off of the AI, and it's been driving people with schizophrenia crazy, causing them to do violent things up to and including killing people. It's been suggesting to people how to rape them, murder them, hide the evidence. So things are not looking too nice in that region. However, I do use AI regularly. I only use the ones that I am capable of trusting for the moment. But as you can see, even just YouTube, who actually regularly will, its algorithm itself will feed me content in order to maintain my, of course, my views. But I tailor it in order to feed me content to tell you people. And all the things that I've told you so far are things that you could try to verify yourself. And I've dared people. I have literally dared people to find anything that I've said that isn't true, and tell me about it so that way we can address that on the show. I've even offered that, like, go ahead and hit the ban button on something. Nothing I say is bannable. So yeah, it gets pretty whack, especially when you're completely alone for what is this, the 8th, 7th birthday in a row? Something like that. And the people that are around you, they either don't listen to you or they say things to you that are terrible. And yeah, it's definitely been a learning curve. I didn't think it would take me more than 5 years to find out, like, okay, this is how you really got to deal with the worst of people. Every single, not just the enemy, but like the people that you live with in war. The worst of everybody comes out. It's awful. The one big line nowadays is do anything different unless the bullets start flying here, but that's only a matter of time. And of course, little shootings left and right all over the damn place. And that's not enough, of course. And I never advocate for violence in the first place, and never would. But violence is being used against us constantly, constantly threatening us. I mean, I would say the terrorist threat is at peak right now. I would say that it is definitely true to say that we've been invaded and taken over, and the United States no longer exists. There will not be a civil war because there are no more states to fight the other states. There are no states, there are no United States. There is no country. It is just a landmass with people who have been tricked into thinking that they still have some form of freedom, when really across the earth all we have is a bunch of slaves with different forms of entertainment used to trick you into staying still and not doing anything. It's pretty sick. I've been trying to find ways to escape. Like I said, focusing on the business. I get better at it, at things that we do every day. We're actually going to be visiting a whole bunch of small businesses this season. Starting this week, I'm going to be actively going to businesses in the Fall River region, doing interviews there. Most of the time, it will probably be pre-recorded because the lives get blocked, like how you're seeing now. There are literally hundreds of millions of people that YouTube could share this to in order for them to see whether or not they actually like what it is that I'm talking about, but they will not do it. They'll blame anything from the page title to the hashtag to the thumbnail. They'll blame a bunch of different, the timing of the drop of the video. It's like none of which make any sense, because the entirety of it should be universal. And if you look at the timing that everybody else is dropping stuff, doing stuff, putting stuff out, it is constant. There is no pattern to it. And if there is, they're inventing their own pattern, or they're reading on somebody else's. And then it's almost like that salt diet that everybody's going on now with this. If you put Himalayan salt on food, you start to lose weight. And it's like, well, first off, are you asking yourself whether or not you had the salt on food before? Because there's a lot of people that just forego that, and what they don't realize is that salt is a good way, it's a good electrolyte. It's a good way for your metabolism to get boosted by the use of water in your system, which you may not be utilizing, especially if you don't spice your own food, but you regularly end up cooking quickly. And then you have, of course, the fact that it's Himalayan salt and no iodide. I'm not sure exactly how that would affect anything, but there was something that had to do with that. I forget exactly what it was. But you have all these people sitting there saying, "Oh, this Himalayan salt's gonna make a huge effort," and then a few weeks go in, nothing changes, and they end up dropping it, but they didn't end up drinking more water or working out or anything. And it's like, well, what the hell do you want? And really, it comes down to the Ozempic thing. People will literally make themselves blind, stick thin, and give themselves like Alzheimer's just to be like a little bit thinner and look like they're more in shape, but they're not really putting in any of the work. It's like, well, what the hell is the point? I mean, really, at the end of the day, if you want to be in better shape, you have to get yourself to a point, and I know this from experience. I've been fat, I've been thin. You have to get yourself to a point where you can physically work out every day comfortably. Not a shit ton, but even just a little tiny little bit. But there are some people that are in such bad shape that they can't even get themselves to do that. And sometimes it's with the mind too. But if you can get yourself into that mind space and body space where you can physically work out every single day, I don't care if it's just one little tiny workout thing, one push-up, one sit-up, one curl of each weight that you have in your personal gym or at the gym that you go to. It doesn't matter. It literally does not matter, because as long as you add a little bit every single day, so long as you can do that, you're gonna get fit. It's gonna take a certain amount of time, but it's not gonna take forever, and it's gonna happen a lot fucking faster than what you think. But I don't hear people saying that. I just hear a bunch of fucking medications, and it's just like, oh man, you should take this, jam it up your ass. It'll give you 7 different symptoms, and nobody gives a shit. And it's like, really? Where's everybody's doctors and all this? I find it really funny that the whole COVID thing went down, and yet nothing changed about public awareness when it comes to health, which would have fucking stopped the comorbidity thing in the first place. Viruses in the first place, and how they spread and transfer, because how you had the whole society thinking that masks were going to help stop something like that, and then all of a sudden it doesn't, but you even had doctors saying it, and you still yet to change any of that. And then the third and the most disturbing, if something like avian flu were to start spreading again, which we had a bunch of shit just last year that was really weird, something really starts to do damage, what's the plan? Because they didn't even have a good plan for the imaginary virus that they said is real but not COVID, right? And barely killed anybody but didn't. And then it's like, what, something worse is definitely can't happen. They know that it can. It happens all the time. So, like, what's the fucking plan? And they're just like, I don't know. I'm just gonna fucking wing it. I know what we'll do. The next time that this guy talks about it on the podcast, we'll just block it. That way nobody knows about any of this horrifying shit until it happens. That way we can take advantage of the entire public. I was actually going to use investments to bet against small companies that were going to get squashed in the pandemic. But I chose not to do that because I said to myself, that's a really evil fucking thing to do, And lo and behold, as that was happening and I was getting denied for fucking COVID loans, and none of my bankers were telling me about it, they were certainly telling a whole bunch of other people that weren't even really people, that they were just fake and giving the money to criminals. And now they're chasing all these people down. And they want to pretend like ICE is just chasing down illegal immigrants. Oh, they're also chasing down that COVID money, because if they don't, that might also cause a big fucking problem with the economy. You're talking about, what, $500 billion fucking dollars? But remember, it's the migrants. It's the migrants that are... But not the farming ones. Not the farming ones. Don't touch them. No. They're special. They are special. They can rape the children. They can be the criminals that we say that they are, so long as they make our food. So long as that happens, they can do whatever the fuck they want, just like these rich people. And remember, if you say it on a podcast, you're going to get completely blocked, 0 views yet again. This is the 6th time within a half an hour. So every 5 minutes, I'm getting brought down to 0 again because I'm saying something that these assholes don't like. Not because I've been wrong about anything, because otherwise the channel would be blocked and stopped, right? It's just sickness. And you can't rely on 1, 2, 3 people that have viewed it to watch the entire time. And they may not even have they may be viewing this on their own. If they all hit the share button and nobody's watching on their shit, where does it go? So I'll end up having to share this stuff to a whole bunch of people. Barely anybody will see it. And what's going to happen is I'm going to keep putting out all these live shows. We're still producing a bunch of shit. And I'm going out into this real world marketing. And what's going to happen is the real world marketing is going to boost the views dramatically and organically, which basically means they'll actually all be real people. And now that I know exactly how to do that, and it will be remarkably easier than what we're dealing with here, because I can't fight AI gods and whole entire movements of people that have been hypnotized into cultism of transhumanists. But what I can do is sell my brand like a human being that's really good at sales. So as those views go up, we'll be able to share more content. So over the next few weeks, you're going to see more and more of us. We will still be doing the daily podcast every single day. And as that continues, you'll see more content on top of that on all of our different stuff. So that should be more fun for everybody. You can let us know in the comments below if there's something specific you'd like to see. I know this invasion topic is going to become more hot as the year goes through. And then once November passes, whatever big event is supposed to happen then, all the way through to 2027 will be pretty psychotic, I would imagine. There could be a dead zone in 2026, or they could try another lockdown thing. I would imagine it's probably going to be one or the other, because they definitely are 100% into this whole 2027 thing. So I will keep everybody apprised as much as I possibly can, and we'll be back tomorrow with another update. I believe tomorrow's will be focused on bird brain, and we're going to actually get more into Operation Laranja Sour, which is our special about the piggy pedophile president and all of his piggy pedophile friends, including Grindin' Biden and whatever the fuck he's doing, skulking around, sucking spirits out like that the mentor is. And we're going to be mentioning some, like I said, some local brands are interested. We got some new commercials coming out. We're going to see what people think about them. They will be dropping intermittently. I don't think we'll be doing them on the live podcast. So when you watch the live, it's actually like a really awesome experience for everybody. It'll be an extra reason to watch. You won't get that commercial break. But when you watch on our regular channel and regularly programmed show, which I would imagine over the next few weeks we'll probably be able to do daily as well, there will be commercials in between, but there'll be brands that we personally, or maybe even specifically me, depending on how big we end up getting through all this. We do expect a lot of growth, but there's a lot of companies that are interested. I've already begun the process of communicating with the people that run those programs and businesses directly and setting up their marketing strategies with us. So that will definitely become not only a fun part of our funding, also become a cool part of your household. As you watch, you're going to see this stuff and go, oh, I want some of that shit. Let me check that out. We'd like to even get some free trials and all that stuff going. But we're going to be interviewing the people that start these businesses and run them, people that work in them, in the industries. And the podcast will continue to be an open table platform. We'll constantly have the other side of this table that I'm sitting at right now open for freedom of speech and open discussion. For the moment, I am focused on business, but we will discuss any topic that the fans want, that the guests want, and that I want in every episode. Make sure to share, like, and comment. The more we grow, the more we show, the more we view, the more we do. We'll be back tomorrow. There is no way for us to schedule a time because, unfortunately, the real world is as tied to the digital world and all of the bullshit that fucks around with it, like you're seeing with the blocked viewership now, as with everything else. If there is some form of digitized control, even if it's just a cell phone on an individual, something will happen in order to fuck with it and block the show. So I cannot give times. It will be every single day. Bad things are probably going to happen that will try to slow me down or stop me from doing that, but it won't stop. Eventually, the net may crash out. We may get hacked. There may be a bunch of different stuff. But if any of that happens, what I'll do is I will instantaneously go to one of our live forums. Like I said, we will be going to places in the real world to start up all of these different NFG business things and stuff, but to also market the brands. Um, I guess you could say there'll probably be like some public events too, because once we start doing this, people tend to like to do like parties and group up and all that stuff. But as that happens, I will go out and I will have other people share from their phones and platforms and social medias and all that other shit. That way, it's literally unstoppable and unblockable unless they actually do kill me, which at that point they will probably try again. And that's fine at this point. I really don't. It really doesn't. It's not going to slow me down. And unless they actually do get me and they want to turn me into a martyr, that's fine. Better than getting 0 views. So yeah, we'll be back in a little bit. Keep in mind that I do and always have wanted to have my own family. I would like to have a future, finish college, have my own business, be successful, hire people, help fundraisers. I am not suicidal. I'm looking forward to the future. And for the moment, I am actually healthy and have been checked by doctors because I'm actually looking into trying to get more licenses for more work, which I've been actively doing for years, and I still can't get any work anywhere, even for my business or as a separate just worker entity. So, yep, actively looking for work too. Could definitely use help trying to find some, and I do all these awesome things and learning more every day. I got to mention this stuff at the end of every podcast because a lot of people that I come in contact with or that I would rely upon end up questioning this stuff. They doubt it, repeat it, and I'm getting it literally wears upon my health. Like I said, I end up with ulcers and all this other stuff. So I am just actively trying to protect myself here at this point, and my own mental health, my physical health, and everybody else that's also getting screwed like me, but they don't have any support system whatsoever. I'm here for those people too. So, yeah. Even with 0 views, even with no money, even with nothing at all, I'm still here for you people. And for those of you that do see this and are going through this fucking nightmare. And of course, I'm always willing to work with people too, so long as they're professional. Whether or not we agree on whatever the fuck, I don't care. Politics, public crap, whatever. I really don't give a shit. It's literally about professionalism, making money, and then helping fundraisers with sick people and all this other shit, like paying bills, having a family, and things like that, like sensical things. Hiring people eventually. I literally have a system that will hook up the payroll and 401k for anybody that works with me, but I have no employees and I have no incoming money. Totally able to work, totally open schedule, makes no fucking sense. Yep. Happy birthday to me. We'll be back in a little bit.